right, hey everybody, Kevin Gazitua here with the newest episode of JAG University. I'm here with Brett Mortiz from Peckar Abramson. Brett, how's it going, man?
I'm good, Kevin. How are you? Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. So today we're going to talk a little bit about you just bought a home, you're planning some renovations, and you're a bit worried about dealing with contractors and permits and the whole nine yards. So how can you protect yourself when you make this big investment and you're looking to start fixing it up?
Sure. So, the first thing that I always tell people is you want a written contract. That's number one. You don't want to just get a proposal from some small contractor and say, hey, here's what I'm going to do with just an amount and a signature line for you. You want a nice written contract that has amount, contractor, permits, their contractor number, a schedule if possible, and then some other provisions as well. Notably, especially with doing a home renovation where you're worried that the contractor is just going to take your money and run, what you want to do is something called retainage, which is where you keep a portion of the money that they're owed until they finish the job. So typically that's anywhere between 5, 10, or 15% per, invoice that you receive for them. So say, the contractor gets paid every month for their services. You'll take 10%, 15% of that monthly amount, you'll keep it in your back pocket, and that gets released when the job is done. So that's something that would be very useful for a homeowner to do, especially in a case where they're worried the contractor is going to run away. This keeps an amount free in case that happens.
Got it. And then a lot of times, you hire a contractor and they'll give you an agreement, but that's not the same thing as the contract you're discussing.
No, yeah. Usually what happens is they'll give you like that proposal that just says, okay, here's a line item of what we're going to do. We're going to do 1 bathroom, 2 bathrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a kitchen. And it's, $45,000, $50,000. And then you sign on the line and they take a 10% deposit for you. You don't hear from them for 6 months. This happens all the time, especially during hurricane season, during, when, a lot of damage occurs from hurricanes. These contractors come out, they'll blanket a neighborhood, and they'll say, here, sign on the dotted line, we'll get this work done. I had, a family experience where this happened, where the contractor took the deposit, doesn't show up, doesn't do anything for a year, and then has to re-record a notice of commencement, which expires after 1 year. And the homeowner is left kind of just sitting there, with this money that's out of their pocket, and there's not much they can do other than, of course, try to sue them. But you never know if there's going to be money there on the table for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, let's say I'm a homeowner, right? And I'm looking to find someone to do my renovations. So going through the process. Okay, I need a contract for my renovation project. How do I go about procuring that?
So, there's a lot of contracts out there floating around the internet. Obviously, you can use. My first suggestion would be to hire a lawyer to get involved in that. I mean, it's a fairly simple process that us construction lawyers deal with, is to prepare a small agreement for, a home renovation. That's not something that would take us a very long time to do, and it would offer a lot of protections for a homeowner. I have a lot of clients that really love that service that we can provide for them, which is, usually a one-off service for them, but oftentimes it can be, repetitive if they want, multiple renovations done to their house.
Got it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then, so really, getting that contract, there's templates out there, but again, consulting with an attorney that has experience would definitely help out. And I see it all the time. We see it in real estate transactions where people hire a real estate attorney and kind of just be like, hey, you know what, that was easier and more affordable than I thought it would be. I assume it's probably pretty similar when you're working on a construction deal as well.
It's very similar. And, one thing that I was just thinking of, Kevin, that pertains to you is to make sure that the insurance is there.
Yeah.
You need homeowners insurance, obviously. You need to make sure that the builder has commercial general liability insurance. Even get a builder's risk policy perhaps for your project if it makes sense and the numbers are right, because that's an additional layer of protection. But really, to make sure your insurance ducks are lined up, I think is also important. I'm sure you can speak to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as far as insurance and construction, we're definitely going to talk a little bit more about that on the contractors end in future segments. But as a homeowner, when I think, okay, how am I going to protect myself during the course of this project, you have two portions, right? You have your own liability as the homeowner, the owner of the land, and then you have the actual renovations and the structure that's being worked on itself on the property side. That first party, that's your own stuff, and then the third party, that's somebody suing you. You have someone that might wander into your job site and get hurt, and there's a lot of other little things that could happen. What I would recommend to a homeowner is you should take out an owner's interest policy if you're not occupying the property, and then a builder's risk to cover the renovations. But also what you should do is get a copy of your contractor's liability insurance, a certificate of insurance where they name you as additional insured. And maybe even, throughout the contract, you can discuss additional protection like waiver subrogations or primary non-contributory wording, things like that. But you need to definitely verify the contractor is adequately covered, they have liability insurance that's enforced, that's current. They name you as additional insured on the entity that owns the home. You have your own protection in force. And then as far as having that contract, that's really important. And in my opinion, I think putting these things into place is a great way to filter out some of the bad contractors out there.
That's very true. I mean, the one I come back to all the time is additional insured language. You need to make sure that that's in place. But no, these are the things that you need to do to make sure that you don't wind up, without a deposit of, however much money you paid down, and then you're worried that you're never going to get that back and no work's been done on your house. So no, these are all very important things to consider, when looking to do a home renovation.
Yeah, and then, no contractor that has any solid merit is going to have an issue with providing proof of insurance.
Never.
Or working with a contract.
Never.
That's totally standard in the industry. And, as we both have experience working with some of the larger firms and construction projects around the state, that is par for the course. That is absolutely very standard throughout their work. And if they aren't willing to provide insurance, if they aren't willing to work off a contract, then it might be time to look for a new contractor.
In fact, I would say, if a contractor approaches you and just says, hey, sign this proposal, that should be a big red flag there in and of itself. Yeah. They should have a contract. I mean, these are guys, this is their industry. Why should you as the homeowner be the first to send out a written contract that they need to sign? They should be sending it to you, quite honestly. And it's something that they really should have in their back pocket that they can immediately send to you. And then you can sign it, take a look at it, have a lawyer review it, do whatever you need to do. But there should be plenty of protections in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So for a quick recap on the segment, you're performing a renovation on your home. You're a little bit worried about hiring contractors. You don't know what to do with insurance. Quick checklist would be A, make sure that your contractor is insured, that you have a contract in place with them, that you can speak with a construction attorney, that is able to help you vet that process, and that you speak with your agent to make sure that you're adequately protected on the liability side, on the builder's risk side, and can take it from there. All right, thanks, Brett.
Perfect. Thanks, Kevin.